Did you ever think that sex might quietly take a heavier toll on your body as you age? For many older men, intimacy just isn't what it used to be, and not only in the emotional sense. The physical and mental aftermath can linger in unexpected ways. Often, no one talks about it until the signs are already there, and by then, the real cost can feel confusing or even unsettling. Let's be clear, this isn't about shaming anyone for seeking connection. Far from it. In fact, staying sexually active later in life can be incredibly beneficial for your heart, your hormones, and your happiness. But just like your knees, your eyesight, or your metabolism, your sexual health also changes with age. What your body handled effortlessly in your 40s or 50s might come with side effects in your 60s, 70s, or beyond. Younger folks might bounce back quickly after a passionate night. But many older men find themselves dealing with fatigue, physical discomfort, or even an unexplained sense of guilt afterward, without fully understanding why. So in this video, we're going to break down 6 important truths doctors wish more older men knew before climbing under the sheets. These are the real-world consequences of aging, hormonal shifts, slower circulation, emotional shifts, and how they show up between the sheets. This isn't a lecture. It's a respectful, honest, and even a little light-hearted conversation, because the more you understand what's really going on, the more empowered and confident you can be. Whether you're 60, 70, or beyond, and still curious, this one's for you. Secret number 1. Overestimating your energy levels. One of the biggest surprises for many older men? Sex takes more out of you than it used to, sometimes a lot more. In your younger years, maybe a quick nap or a strong cup of coffee was enough to recover. But past 60 or 70, that same experience can leave you feeling drained for days. And it's not just getting older in general. It's your cardiovascular system, your muscle recovery, your nervous system, and even your brain chemistry, all of which work a little slower now. Take Harold, for example, a 76-year-old from Illinois. He and his wife still share an active, loving, intimate life. But one night, after what felt like a perfectly normal evening together, Harold woke up feeling unusually weak. He skipped his morning walk, and didn't feel quite right again for almost a week. He feared something was wrong with his heart. But after a checkup, his doctor gave him a surprising insight. His body simply wasn't bouncing back the way it used to. His blood pressure had dipped. His muscles were sore. His nervous system took longer to return to baseline. This is something many doctors quietly warn about. Sex, like any physical exertion, requires energy, and older bodies take longer to recover, especially if you're also managing medications, chronic health conditions, or something as simple as dehydration. But there's also a psychological ripple effect here. When you don't feel like yourself after intimacy, it can start to plant seeds of anxiety. You might begin to avoid sex not because of lack of desire, but out of fear. And once fear and self-doubt creep in, confidence takes a hit. Your body starts to associate something pleasurable with stress, creating a cycle that's hard to break. So if you've noticed that you feel more wiped out than you think you should after sex, you're not alone. And you're not broken. You're just aging. And there's wisdom in adjusting your pace. Give yourself time. Rest. Hydrate. Talk to your partner. Talk to your doctor. Because aging doesn't mean giving up on intimacy, it just means approaching it with more care, more awareness, and more grace. Don't be afraid to talk openly with your partner, because the real strength now isn't in pushing through, it's in listening to what your body needs. Secret: ignoring the role of medication. Another secret that surprises many older men is just how much their daily medications can interfere with sexual function, and not just in obvious ways. We usually hear about pills affecting desire or causing performance issues, but the effects run deeper and more silently than most people realize. Many common prescriptions like blood pressure meds, antidepressants, prostate treatments, and even antihistamines can reduce blood flow, numb sensitivity, or throw off the body's natural rhythm of arousal and release. Take Frank, for instance, a 72-year-old widower who recently started dating again after several years alone. When he first tried to rekindle intimacy with his new partner, things didn't go the way he hoped. He blamed himself. He thought maybe he'd lost it, but when he brought it up with his doctor, he found out the culprit wasn't his age or his attitude. It was a simple blood pressure medication he'd been taking for years. Once they adjusted the dosage, things improved. There's a psychological side to this too. When a man starts to feel that his body isn't responding the way it used to, he often turns inward, starts questioning his masculinity, his desirability, even his worth. That kind of self-doubt isn't just emotional, it becomes physical. Stress hormones rise, blood flow decreases even more, and Suddenly the issue gets worse, not better. What's worse is that most men never mention it. They keep quiet out of embarrassment or pride, even though doctors can often help with a simple change in timing, dosage, or switching to a different medication. This silence costs them years of satisfaction and connection. If any part of this sounds familiar, if you felt frustrated, or like you're the only one going through this, you're not, and it's not your fault. The most courageous thing you can do is speak up, talk to your doctor, ask questions, because your sexual health is part of your overall well-being, and you deserve clarity, confidence, and support, not shame or silence. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 2 below to let me know you're here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Secret 3: Not understanding emotional intimacy. One of the biggest secrets older men wish they had known sooner is that sex becomes less about physical performance and more about emotional closeness. This shift isn't a problem, it's an invitation, but too many men aren't prepared for it, so they feel like something is broken when it's actually evolving. As we get older, our bodies change, that's no surprise, but what catches many men off guard is how much emotions start to matter. It's not about being soft, it's about being real. A quick touch or a casual encounter may not spark the same excitement it once did. Instead, what truly deepens desire is feeling seen, safe, and connected. In fact, when there's emotional warmth, the body often responds better too. Take Robert, 76, who remarried after his first wife passed away. In his first marriage, sex was predictable, often unspoken, sometimes routine, but with his second partner, he realized something new. Conversations, vulnerability, laughter, and shared memories made intimacy richer and more enjoyable. He didn't need to perform as much as he needed to be present. But here's the problem: many older men were raised in a time when emotional openness was discouraged. They were told to man up to avoid showing weakness, so when their partners start asking for more emotional connection, or when their own bodies seem to ask for it, they feel confused or even ashamed. This emotional disconnect becomes a silent killer of closeness. Some men pull away, others pretend nothing's changed, and some simply give up on intimacy altogether. But the truth is, this stage of life can offer the most rewarding kind of closeness if you're willing to open up and lean in. Emotional intimacy doesn't mean long therapy sessions or writing poetry. It means paying attention, sharing how you feel, even if it's uncomfortable, and being a little more patient. That's what makes the difference between just having sex and truly feeling loved. So if you've been feeling like something's missing or wondering why things don't feel the way they used to, maybe it's not your body at all, maybe it's your heart asking for more connection. And once you give yourself permission to lean into that, everything else often follows naturally. Secret for ignoring the role of medication: a lot of older men don't realize how much their daily prescriptions affect their sex life until it's too late, and the biggest issue isn't the medication itself, but the silence around it. No one tells you that the very pills keeping you alive might also be robbing you of something you still want to enjoy: your ability to feel desire, to stay aroused, or to finish what you start. Let's take blood pressure medication, one of the most common prescriptions after 60. Many of these drugs, especially beta blockers or certain diuretics, can quietly reduce blood flow, and when blood doesn't move the way it used to, neither does the body. The result: erectile problems that feel like they came out of nowhere. Then there are antidepressants or cholesterol-lowering drugs or medications for prostate issues. All of these can alter your hormone levels or disrupt your nervous system in subtle ways, and yet most doctors don't explain this unless you ask. Most men don't ask because they feel embarrassed, and so the cycle continues: frustration, confusion, and silence. George, age 81, shared a story once at a senior men's group. He had been blaming himself for years, thinking he was losing interest in his wife, but when he finally brought it up to his doctor, he learned that one of his meds was the cause. A simple switch, not even stopping the treatment, just changing brands, helped restore not only his confidence, but his connection with his wife. This is something every man over 60 should know. If your sex drive has changed, if your body isn't cooperating the way it used to, don't just accept it. Take a look at your medicine cabinet. Ask your doctor the right questions. You have the right to know what these drugs are doing to your body, including in the bedroom, and remember, adjusting medication doesn't mean risking your health. In many cases, there are alternatives, dosage tweaks, or schedules that preserve your function while keeping you safe, but it starts with being honest with yourself and with your doctor. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 4 below to let me know you're here, and if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now let's move forward. Secret 5: Not knowing when to rest. Many older men feel they need to prove they've still got it, especially when it comes to intimacy. That pressure, whether it's coming from within or outside, often leads to ignoring the body's signals, and this can quietly build into a much bigger issue: exhaustion, irregular heartbeat, or even strain on the heart during or after sex. Here's the truth: your body after 70 isn't weaker, it's just different. Your endurance, your recovery time, even your Hydration levels all play a bigger role than they did in your 40s or 50s, and intimacy isn't supposed to be a performance, it's supposed to be connection, warmth, playfulness, and trust. When men forget that and start chasing their past energy levels, they run the risk of hurting themselves physically and emotionally. There was a man named Arthur, 78 years old, who ended up in the ER not from a heart attack but from dehydration and a drop in blood pressure after intimacy. Turns out he hadn't eaten well that day, hadn't had enough water, and had taken a full dose of his blood pressure medication. He thought he could push through like he used to, but his body just didn't agree. And it's not just the physical part. Emotionally, older men can feel guilt or frustration if they need more time to recover, or if they can't meet their partner's expectations. That stress in turn can affect performance even more. It becomes a loop that leaves both people feeling disconnected. Here's the lesson: sex in older age isn't about going fast, it's about going deep, taking your time, knowing when to rest, letting your body catch up with your heart. There's nothing to prove. Your worth doesn't shrink just because your pace slows. What older couples often find is that when they stop rushing and start listening to each other's bodies, intimacy becomes richer, not weaker. But it takes humility, communication, and the courage to let go of old ideas about what good sex should look like. If you give yourself that space, your body may surprise you, and even if it doesn't perform the way it used to, your ability to connect, to share, and to be close, those things can actually grow stronger if you allow them. Secret sex, ignoring emotional aftercare. Sex isn't just about the act itself. For older men, the time afterward, the quiet moments, the words exchanged, the closeness often matters just as much as what came before. But sadly, this part gets skipped more often than you'd think. Many older men were raised in a time when emotional expression wasn't encouraged. They were taught to do the job and move on without talking about feelings or needs. But as we age, the emotional side of intimacy grows in importance, not lessens. When emotional after is missing, it can leave a partner feeling used, unvalued, or alone. Even when the physical act was perfectly fine. One man I spoke to, Walter, 82, said he used to roll over and fall asleep after sex. He thought it was normal, but his partner told him she felt like she was just a task to be completed. That shocked him. He had no idea she was feeling that way. No one ever told him that what happens after sex, holding hands, staying close, listening, is part of the whole experience. For some older men, physical energy might run low after intimacy, but emotional openness can still be high. That's the perfect time to connect. A soft word, a little laugh, or even just silence while staying close. Those moments build trust. They also reduce anxiety about future intimacy, especially when physical limitations are in play. And here's something else: emotional aftercare helps reinforce self-esteem. Older adults sometimes feel insecure about their aging bodies or their changing performance. A little affirmation after sex, a genuine "I loved being close to you," can quiet those fears and deepen the bond between partners. Ignoring emotional after is like planting a garden but forgetting to water it. Over time, things dry up. But when you nurture the emotional side of sex, even with small gestures, you help keep the connection alive and often reignite the desire too. If you're still watching this video and finding these insights valuable, please comment number 6 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you subscribe and turn on the bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Now, let's move forward. Final thoughts. When it comes to sex and aging, there's one thing older men often wish they'd realize sooner. It's not just about physical performance, it's about understanding your body, honoring your partner, and keeping your mind and heart involved in every part of the experience. These 6 truths aren't meant to shame or discourage, they're meant to open doors to better health, better connection, and better confidence in a stage of life where so many feel unsure. We all want to feel desired, respected, and understood no matter our age, but no one teaches us how intimacy evolves as we get older. That's why these conversations matter. That's why this video matters. Whether you're in a relationship or navigating this path on your own, the more you understand about these hidden realities, the more empowered and at peace you'll be. It's never too late to adapt, never too late to learn, and never too late to enjoy a meaningful, satisfying sex life that honors who you are now, not who you used to be. And that, my friend, is the real secret no one talks about. Thank you for joining us today. We'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment below and share one thing you learned today and how you plan to use it in your life. Your thoughts are important to us, so don't hesitate to share them. Reading your comments gives us great motivation and encouragement. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, please like, subscribe, and share. Your support helps us continue creating good content to inform and inspire you. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next video.